His Lordship, the leader of the Wilderness Guardians, and I'm here at RuneFest 2016 to interview some of the biggest names in RuneScape's history. I'm looking at players and JMOds, and I'm quizzing them on some very, very essential topics about the game and the community. These answers are completely unscripted, so what you're about to see is honest, it's truthful, and it's a little bit quirky, so I hope you enjoy.
Hi, my name is Mod Ash.
Hi, my name is Mod Mark.
Hi, my name is Mod Raven.
Hi, my name is Faux.
Hi, my name is Mr. Mammal.
Hi, my name is Boaty.
Hello, my name is Mod Pie.
Hi, my name is Mod Deg.
Hi, my name is Rajj Patel.
Hi, my name is a friend. Hi, my name is Matt.
From Andrew Gower in a bar at college, and he kept talking about this RuneScape thing for which he was about to launch members. It meant nothing to me, no one had heard of it. So I asked his friends what it was, and they said it was this silly thing Andrew put on the internet where people click on rocks all day and Andrew gets money, and I thought I'd got to get me some of that action.
I first heard about RuneScape from the Cambridge Evening News when I was looking for an interesting new job.
A friend of mine, I think, back in uni. Well, that's a long while ago, yeah.
I first heard about RuneScape from my older brother, who heard about it from one of his friends that we played on a game called cokemusic.com back in like 2001.
From my older brother in 2006.
My brothers who used to play it back in 2003.
One of my friends in school.
What year?
Oh, we're talking... It's 7?
When I was browsing like a online games gallery, I was playing like a lot of Java games, a lot of Flash games, and then like this, I just tried out. Played a lot during maths class, believe it or not.
I first heard about RuneScape from my friend back in 2004.
My classmates in 2005. I first heard about RuneScape from my wife.
One aspect of RuneScape that would be cool to have in real life is magic. I've always wanted to, see a corridor full of people in the way and be able to cast a fire strike right up the middle of it, especially with some of the fancier graphics that came out in later years. And it sometimes sucks I can't do that.
A pet dragon.
Magic. I think magic powers would be awesome.
What, killing people?
Not necessarily killing people, but yes, killing people with magic powers.
Okay, because you can't kill them normally?
I wouldn't set people on... Well, I was saying magic, not necessarily murder. Magic isn't always murder.
Sorry, I'm a PKer, that's why.
Oh, I see, that's where it came from. Right, okay.
The one aspect of RuneScape that would be cool to have in real life is a respawn point. So when you die...
How often do you die in real life?
Well, once I do, it'd be great if I could just respawn in Lumbridge or, sure. Respawn points in real life.
Combat? I don't know, I think if we were strong enough to actually use weapons, that'd be so much fun.
Teleportation spells.
Yes.
Probably food's weird ability to heal you from any injuries.
Yeah. The more you eat, the healthier you get.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I'd love that. I mean, you can tell.
I partly want to be able to summon a friend and companion at any time, and also I hope it's really inconvenient for the familiar. Maybe they're halfway through doing something. Like someone like, oh mate, I was having my dinner, what do you want?
The ability to teleport to other destinations quickly.
It is fun when you die.
Do you die often then?
Nah. PvP where you respawn.
Who would you kill first?
It's Lordship.
Oh, yeah. I asked for it.
If I knew I was getting perm banned tomorrow, I would spend my final hours drinking.
How could I get perm banned? I would spend my final hours unperm banned myself.
That was the answer.
I would spend my final hours looking for a new job in my case. Because if I were being perm banned, I'm in trouble.
I would spend my final hours on RuneScape dropping all of my gold, probably going up to every single noob on a free-to-play world, level 10 to 20, who's just starting the game. Give them a good time, give them everything that I have.
Nice guy.
Staking.
I'd probably just grab a crystal bow and go shoot people in the wilderness for a bit. It's probably what I'd genuinely do.
PKing. YOLO. Why would you do anything else?
My instinct is to say disassembling all of the valuable stuff in my bank, but when I think about it, I only have junk.
If I knew I was getting permabanned tomorrow, I would spend my final hours cleaning out my bank and selling it. to real world trade. You know how it is.
Just dropping all the money that I have. I mean, just dropping, without telling, just dropping like spirit shields around, whatever, and people would be like, what the hell? What the hell is happening? If I knew I was getting perm banned tomorrow, I would spend my final hours watching Emily's stream.
Wook's doing something utterly awesome involving taking down a boss with like a bunch of flowers.
I'm going to go with the classic one, you know, the Guffings.
Oh yeah, what, that one? RuneScape Gods Exposed?
Yeah, that's the one. I'll go with that one. I like that one.
I would have to say when Ice Poseidon decided to team up with Rot and betray the Purple Army.
One YouTube video every player should watch is every Iron Mammal progress video ever.
Oh, self-plug. No, pick someone else.
On a real note, there's so many to choose from. I love Dovius. Everything a friend makes, I love him.
Michael Pro PK video too. If you haven't seen it, just watch it, please. It's so good.
Tell you what, one that you should watch that not many people saw was there was a skilling video for skateboarding, and that is fantastic.
A skilling video
A guy did like a BTS video for skateboarding as a skill. It's amazing.
Nice.
Like he's somehow done like the animations and everything. It's amazing. Check it out.
One YouTube video every RuneScape player should watch is clearly the combat talk from Runefest.
Oh, you didn't. Okay, what's another one?
I'm probably sure this is another video that everyone said, but like foregoing his Vitalis and going absolutely bananas for it. That was funny to watch. I enjoyed that.
One YouTube video every player should watch is Mr. Mammal's Jad guide, because it takes a long time, but you will defeat Jad eventually.
I love when people I know it's like very controversial, but when people lore, when they kill, you know, they kill and they get like so much money, like they get like Corva and Elijah, and if it's RuneScape 3, I love when people get like loads of stuff.
From luring.
Yeah.
Every player should watch. It's the 666 Palador Massacre, that's song by Night Machine.
Log into it and root around, find something to do, maybe a task system or achievement diaries, and introduce them to bits of the game they might not otherwise encounter, and hopefully they will find something they really enjoy again.
Fire RuneScape Idle Adventures, which I've been working on very hard for a year, and it is awesome, believe me.
Try quests, because our quests are awesome.
Come to old school RuneScape, because that's the whole nostalgic feeling of the game. And that's why all of us play it now, is because that's what we grew up with.
For someone like me who wants to get into old school, but I get a bit lost because everyone's so far ahead.
Okay, so
what do you do?
Start an Iron Man account, because if anyone's going to start now, even the players that have been playing old school since it came out 3.5 years ago, they start an Iron Man, they started from square one again. It really teaches you the game, makes you appreciate everything.
Try to try new things. Some people like stick to a niche and only boss or something. Try new stuff, skill, PK, do new things.
Iron Man mode is really good for old school. It makes you play almost every aspect of the game, and it's like you do things that you've never done before. Like I fished my first shark in like 2014, and I played since 2003 to put in perspective. And you just do all that stuff, and it's just really nice.
Start an Iron Man. I'm not joking. Like in any version of the game that you want, start an Iron Man. It's a completely different way of playing the game. And you start from scratch, and you kind of get that magic back when you start from scratch. Like you start doing all the old things that you used to do from a noob.
I remember doing Gold Wars Dungeon and just kind of like doing it for the sake of like, oh, I'll get some stuff, why not? And now there's pets and there's titles. There's like just this cool stuff.
Okay.
And it looks great now.
A good way for retired players to fall back in love with the game is to not play RS3 and play old school.
A lot of people watch my videos and they say, I used to play it back then, and I see it's pretty fun now. They check out the new updates. I think that's really cool.
A good way for retired players, a good way for retired players to fall back in love with the game is to play old school.
What part of old school?
All parts of old school.
Oh, what a plug.
Yeah, I was a politician.
One nice thing about the version of RuneScape I don't play, which would be RS3 in my case, is that it looks awesome and has wonderful stories, including my love story quest, which I'm very proud of.
nostalgia. It makes me all warm and joyous inside. Think about the old days.
I think the player interaction, so the kind of building things with the players as they go is a nice feature of it.
We're talking about old school, of
We're
course.
talking about old school. I play RS3 more than old school.
RS3.
Yeah.
The thing I love about it the most, the heist minigame. It's just called Heist.
Yeah.
I freaking love it. It's like cops and robbers. If it came to old school, I'd be so psyched about it. Yeah.
So I don't play RS3. My favorite thing about it is I think the combat is actually very cool. I don't prefer the combat style, but I think it's cool. It's very unique.
RS3. The shark pet is amazing. I really like that. Other than that, I don't really know because I don't play it, so I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yeah, I played both, but I work on RS3, so you went old school.
Yeah.
The activity in the PvP community. You know I'm jelly.
Yeah.
You know I'm jelly.
It's really cool that the old school team like get to just like sort of try out stuff and just say, look, here's some ideas. What do you want? And they have the ability because they have like a much lower turnaround time.
So
to
that
say, like,
heightened interaction.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
One nice thing about the version of RuneScape I don't play RS3 is that I never have to play it.
What's something about RS3 that you wish happened in old school?
Well, I would say EOC, but no.
Don't you dare.
I generally like it that it's faster experience race. I know people are not gonna like that, but it actually, when it takes only 1 day or 2 days to level up instead of a week, it feels good. That's why I played RuneScape 3 Ironman, because it was just way faster to level up.
One nice thing about the version of RuneScape I don't play, which is RuneScape 3, is that they have microtransactions.
Really? You like the MTX?
I think MTX is wonderful.
Okay, I need to talk to you about that in a minute.
Not in old school, of course.
Okay.
But MTX is a wonderful thing.
My favourite trick to play on noobs is to transmogrify into a door and stand in the doorway of Aubrey's rune shop in Iraq. And it looks like the door's shut, but it's not a door, it's you, and they can walk right through you, but they think there's a door, they get really confused.
Using my no-clipping tools and walking on water.
In my case, it'll be using JMod tools and disguising myself as a party hat or something and running away with it and try and click on me. It's so much fun. They get really annoyed.
I like to go around to people sometimes. I don't do it when I stream, and it's not really a trick. I ask them for their trust and ask them to answer questions and follow me around. And if they'll do everything that I do, that I ask them for, I'll give them $1 mil, $2 mil, something like that. So kind of tease them for a little bit, but if they actually play along the whole way, I like to reward them.
Okay, you never lured them into the ice giant cave?
No, that's rude. No.
Oh.
Okay, one thing. I'm kind of embarrassed about this. I told a guy to run around the money tree in level 44 wilderness and it spawns money on the ground. He had to run 3 circles, and he PM'd me later saying he couldn't find any trees. That was a long time ago.
Oh, that's awesome.
When I was a little kid, if you remember in free-to-play, they used to have polished buttons, and nobody knew what they were if you were free-to-play. But there are useless members items, and you can sell them for a bunch of money. I didn't actually ever scam anyone, but I just thought it was funny.
Probably when you trade someone and you take your items off the trade and accept it again. I always give the items back. I do it in demo mode a lot when trading was still viable there. I always loved doing that.
So I was actually one of those guys when I was younger. When I saw a level 3 walk past the dark mages south of Rock, I'd trade them and then run into the dark mages so they'd click on the trade window and run in and die.
Oh, you're evil. That is pure evil.
It's to put really hard bosses in a game that they can't possibly do.
Yeah, well, you're doing that, aren't you?
My favorite trick to play on noobs is to drop money in the wilderness and then they run for it and then I get their shit. That's what I like.
Well, I made a few videos where I just literally dropped stuff around without telling, and it's awesome to see people like, what the hell? Just divine spirit shield spawned on the floor, like, what just happened? So I like to confuse them.
To turn myself into an expensive item which they think they can pick up and they can't.
You're not the only one who says that.
Yeah.
Apparently it's an old school JMod thing.
Yeah.
The thing the PKing community needs most is a consensus on what it is we should be doing and some way of helping us be really sure that they really are the voice of the community rather than Well, you appreciate it's sometimes hard to tell whether 10 people agreeing on Twitter is just 10 people or a representative body of 10,000 people. And if we do the wrong thing to the PKing community, that would be very, very bad for them.
A circle of life.
Sure, that's very cryptic.
I'm gonna say I think like big group content, like I know we have
the
raids,
epic clan
but
stuff?
bigger, proper epic clan level raids is what I would do.
The thing that the PKing community needs most is Ice Poseidon. Everyone needs an Ice Poseidon in their life. You know, a random arm thing from here to there, and it cheers everyone up.
I don't PK much, so it's hard to have feedback on that. But I think
What would it take for you to start?
I think we need to have like a centralized, because it's so spread out between Bounty Hunter and PvP and all these different things. I think if we could all agree on one centralized way to PvP, it would make it very alive and interactive.
So, kind of like something called the Wilderness?
Yes, if it was just that, it'd be better, I think.
In my honest opinion, to revive PKing, you need to get rid of the clans, so people go PKing alone, because one guy will get swamped by 20 people and die and then never go back in the wilderness again. I think that's a big thing. Just
Whoa, that's not going in the final. Holy shit.
To stop, I'm not going to swear, to stop having a go at each other and actually pull up your socks and become more of a community. Like, number one, stop arguing with each other. You're already a small community. Stop it and let the community grow.
That's a good answer. What does the PKing community, what would it take to make you PK?
Oh, that's a good question. To make me PK?
Yep. What would do it for you?
I need someone to hold my hand.
Join a clan.
Yeah, that's
Join
a good
my
point,
clan.
actually. The PKing community needs the Wilderness Guardians to take them under their wing. But that's not... I mean, actually, that's kind of the point, is that the PKing community does need more people. You do need to be, like, encouraging people to not be so nervous. Because, like, I get it. I go go into the wilderness with not the intention of doing any PKing, but I still, like, just, like, run around like, oh god, I hope no one looks at me.
Yeah.
The thing that the PKing community needs most is PKing bots, so it's a lot easier to kill people. I don't know how to do it, so it's very difficult for me. Okay.
What would it take to get you to start PKing?
Well, I like to kill weak people, so that means runecrafters or people who gather stuff.
You're one of those people.
Yeah, so if you allow me to do that...
You kill skillers?
Yeah, I kill, but if the minute someone like big comes, I run away, like I don't want that.
The thing that PK community needs most is more passionate clans to bring people into that community.
Surprise!
If I could provide one piece of dead content, it'd be trouble brewing, because somebody really should. I think that if we make the stuff worth using and increase the value of the stuff you can make from it, like rewrite brewing for a start, then there'd be a reasonable chance. It came up on the last live stream, actually.
Fossil Island, because it never really came about. It's not really dead, is it? If I could provide one piece of dead content, it would be the rat pits.
Ooh, okay.
Okay, I'm going to be... I don't know how dead it is, but hey, I'm going to go with a personal thing, which would be I would get the sagas up and running again, because they're one of my early pieces of content. And I'd like to see them renewed.
So Dead Man mode's not really dead content, but compared to how it was upon release, it's nothing like it was. The first Dead Man mode when it came out, it was like the whole feeling of old school starting over again. So everyone was playing it. If someone died, they didn't really get set back. You know, they got set back, but they didn't get demoralized. Now with the Dead Man mode seasons, they get completely demoralized. One death the first day, they quit completely. So if that kept going, like nothing throws the game forward like that does. Nothing brings more attention to the game on Twitch like Dead Man mode does. So if that could just stay at it, that'd be awesome.
I mean, Castle Wars isn't as lively as it used to be, and I used to love playing that when I was younger, so let's go with Castle Wars.
That would be mine too.
Castle Wars would be really nice, like if it was people would play it and actually enjoy it, because sometimes I don't want to play Castle Wars because I feel I'm wasting my time. Like, I'd prefer to do something else that I'd enjoy equally or maybe more than Castle Wars, but it's probably one.
Castle Wars in RS3, definitely. Like, I love Castle Wars from the bottom of my heart. I ran the Castle Wars down for like 3 years. I just want to kick all the comp capers out and bring back all of the people that actually play Castle Wars properly.
Nice.
Rat pits. Let's make rat pits great again.
You're not the first person to say that. Mod Mark said rat pits.
Yeah?
Yeah, what is it about these rat pits that everyone is, they've got this crazy Sing
I
about
had,
them.
I had my cat, trained my cat. It's a lethal killing machine. I want to be able to show off my own cat to everyone.
If I could revive one piece of dead content, it would be botting. I think that botting is a piece of dead content that unfortunately has been removed from the game. I wish it could come back. Botting was great content. I really enjoyed it. I think I did. Okay.
Most people like Seal and Creation, so it's something that people would want to play. So I guess I would go with Seal and Creation because that's because mining. I hate mining, and if I can get like pickaxes, like the clay pickaxes, I would love what's that called? I forgot. This the sacred clay.
Yeah, that thing, the sacred clay. That's it.
Yeah, I would love that. Trouble Brewing.
Trouble Brewing.
I like Trouble Brewing.
That was never big even when it was released.
I know.
All right, well, thank you very much, Matt. Okay, a friend, Mr. Patel.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure. Thank you so much.
I got there in the end.
I was
sorry about the crap.
You had some good answers. Thank you. Bodhi, thank you so much.
You're welcome, man.
Mr. Mammal, it's been a pleasure. Paul, thank you so much.
Absolutely, man.
They were good answers. Mark, that wasn't so hard, was it?
No, it wasn't.
Anyway, hope that's been of some use to you.
Monash, thank you so much. Okay, let's have a look at some of the comments from my last video, Jagex's biggest mistake. 3x3, well said. The sense of awe is an essential part of any adventure game, and manufacturing that particular emotion is very, very difficult. Magic is a great way to do it, and it works in World of Warcraft because it's scale. It appears at various points and then sinks into the background again. In RuneScape, it's a constant barrage, especially with cosmetics, as you mentioned. Samaritan Spirit. Jagex are almost deleting content already. Every time they carelessly add new content, a piece of old content in the game dies off somewhere. Good game development increases the possibilities for gameplay rather than replaces them. Lucky Filmer, that's exactly what I'm saying. There are rare moments when I think the world benefits from these excessive magical forces. I don't mind Quifting Us as a piece of content, I just loathe that it has become a new hub for high-level player activity, far away from the ordinary world that for so long stood as the basis of the game. Ali Faik, I somehow knew the EOC would come up in discussion. I've already spoken about my dislike of it extensively, but I urge you to watch the RuneScape documentary when it eventually comes out. There is a decent section on it, and looks at it from all angles as neutrally as possible. And Geordie bro, this will be the last time I ever shine the spotlight on a hateful comment, but I will respond this one time. This is 2016, and it is not shameful to be non-white. It is not offensive to be gay. I have many gay friends and family, and countless more who suffer from other forms of discrimination. There was an old clan member of mine, in fact, in WG, who took their own life because of bullying like yours. Now, I bet that posting insults is really fun, especially when you get a reaction, but please don't fuck with people's lives. As a controversial figure, I'm used to getting shit like this all the time, but I'm more worried about those vulnerable people who read comments like this and feel like they are a lesser human being. To those people, I say this: you are cherished and valued, and Geordie's views don't represent the majority of our community. P.S. Thanks for noticing my shirt, but I was wearing a size L. If I need to buy a larger size, I'll make sure to borrow something from your mum next time.